Going on, Warriors? It's your boy Shin Ryu back again with another video, and we're gonna go right ahead and do the final test with Mommy Dhalsim. This one kind of took me a while because I've sort of like been testing it back and forth, and I've been focusing on other areas of the game as well because I've sort of like not been convinced with what I was doing so far, despite the way the kid had seemed to be quite decent. Okay, so I think I actually figured out what the fault was because I was actually able to use the character in the Shadaloo City event, which obviously is another way to actually test characters viability. But of course, because of the character is a Thunder faction character, we know the primary reason why I want to make sure that he's actually good is not necessarily as a character who's sort of like top tier alone, but also a character that is especially viable in the Shadaloo Fist section. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, like I said, the easiest way to sort of like tell the caliber of the character, if the guy is going to be, he's supposed to be, like an excellent character, for example, is you want to look at the caliber of the opponents you're going to be facing in the trial realm. Okay, typically you would see them, like top tier characters, for example, you might see them being faced against people like Bison, in the case of Ivory, for example, being faced with Ivory himself, or Akuma, or Rose, most of the Inferno, or Master Faction are going to be dominating that realm. Okay, but if you start to see regular, it just means they're definitely not going to be broken, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be good enough. Okay, it just means that they're not going to be like broken, top tier characters. In my opinion, I believe if you want to be top tier, you got to be able to be dominant regardless of whatever the opposition is. All right, the second one you're going to want to look out for as well is you want to see how the character operates while he's in the team. If, for example, you manage to one-shot the character, does that significantly drop the strength of your team? If it does, then the character is pretty important. For example, if you again see Viper, those lights, once your damage dealers like Fashion Blanker, once you kind of lose them, you kind of feel like as if the game is kind of up because you might not be able to take them out completely, or you might actually end up being in the receiving end of the defeat, right? And of course, the third one obviously is you want to mix them up with any random set of characters and still expect that they're actually available. Of course, when I mean random set of characters, you were talking about the fact that you want to make sure that they can still complete a combo lineup, but then it's not necessarily going to cause the detriment of the character if you have the full combo sets like over here as complete and you're able to defeat the characters. Okay, that's how you typically know. I'm sure you notice some of them, for example, like the Neros, Ryus, and the Virgil. If you remember quite well in the event, people were breezing through it. You didn't even have to think about the composition of Virgil, for example, who in my opinion deserved an extremely different tier compared to the rest. You can actually even pair it up with just 3 team members, as I showcased in the test previously below. You haven't seen it, go check it out in my videos. And actually, was smoking them regardless. Okay, and we're talking about every single one, including Ivory used Bison. No one was stand in his way because of his extreme durability whenever he has to turn into his Manji mode and all that stuff, right? But yeah, let's get back to Dhalsim. We're going to go right ahead and try and see how the character works out. It's going to be a full test throughout realm. Okay, then we're going to see if the guy is available. Well, we don't have to try to Shadaloo City. I've seen him. I'm convinced by him there. I'm just going to add that knowledge I got over there with this one here, and then we're going to go right ahead and see how it goes. Okay, so first focus, so that we can just get out all this talking out of the way here, is we're going to be focusing more on pairing with a Thunder faction, because obviously one of the primary users is going to be in the Supreme Fist. Okay, and of course might not have everyone being Thunder factions. For example, you can just add some random characters that you believe is good enough, because obviously you don't want to put him at an extreme detriment. Okay, we're already restricting him to just factions. That's going to be the first priority of who we're going to pick as character, except in the case where, for example, the combo isn't complete and we're going to have to substitute that. Okay, so we're going to go right ahead and we're going to try 2 things here. Okay, just to prove if my theory is correct. Okay, typically, of course, because he's first is let's see, because his first is a buff, right? Most people are gonna feel like you don't want to waste that chance, right? You're gonna waste one C1 with a buff, but I do have an alternative idea, obviously, which I'm going to dive into deeper as well. I've mentioned this before as a trick to use whenever you have characters that are not actually attacking in their turns. Okay, so because the first is going to be a buff, you probably feel like you want to replace it with something else. Okay, maybe for example, you want to use an AoE move, and you want to use something else to pretty much hit the character going, right? What you want to, what you're probably gonna do is you're gonna start with another move. So we're gonna go right ahead and showcase that test. We start another move, okay? Oh, apologies. I knew I was thinking too long because I don't want to hit the leave button, and somehow as you did. But you know, I'll just go right ahead and just start this again. All right, let's try and make sure that the combo bar can complete quickly. I want to do is on individual, like just so we can observe this. So obviously we start with like someone like a blanket, for example. We do this because C2 is the one that you want to use for Dhalsim. This is one that's really good. And then you hit that. Of course, and you can see the opponents are already coming back in their own way as well. But we're already at a good advantage right now. All right, I should actually move it back to 2. Go again, you know, hit that, whatever, and then hit, you know, find this. And you know, that wasn't pretty much a big deal at all. You can see what actually looked over there. All right, we're gonna go right. That's no problem at all. Of course, you know, that first, you know, level was not the most difficult level at all. We go over to the second one right now. First of all, like I said again, we're gonna prioritize his faction. All right, obviously we're gonna be using his C2. That's 1-1. Make sure we don't miss out. That is the actual important. That is unequivocally the important, the unmissable move if you're gonna be using Dhalsim. Okay, the C2 is one that actually matters more, in my opinion. I've tried to C1 before, but for now we're just going to stick with the C2. Okay, and then of course we have a full Thunder faction lineup here. We have full one here, so that's really great. Obviously we're not going to put in Ivory out there. We're going to put him over here. So now you're going to be thinking, okay, you know what, no brainer on who you want to start with first, right? It's going to be Ivory, right? Go right ahead and hit the fight button. Let's try and boost this up as quickly as possible. They're hitting first, right? So now you go review. Try here, you know, and use his C2, all right, and then you can maybe use Gal, but typically you might want to use Ivory as well. Remember, you don't have EX moves or support here, so you can, you know, have that healing, whatever. All of a sudden, bam, one character is sticking out, right? We're still okay because you can still use, you know, Combat Gal's C2 to replace that, but then we're already substantially weak right now, and obviously we're not going to be building up, you know, super combo meters as quickly as we would expect. But Zangief is doing a good job in terms of like being a tank. We're still trying our best, but you can see that Sea Viper is still, you know, very much alive, and you already know what that means. Now our damage dealer in Mad Ryu is already out. The rest is history, right? Okay, we're gonna try it again just to show you that this is not a bit of a coincidence here. Okay, once again, same lineup. We're gonna go here, go with the tank here, go to here, go with Combat Gal here. This is all full Thunder factions, right? Because like I said, one replicate that, you know, Supreme Feast move, because that's the primary reason why everyone is hoping that Mummy Dhalsim is great, right? Go once again, you know, if you go here. Actually, I could have even tried, you know, using his C1. All right, we took out you know, Fei Long right now, but that's typically not the problem. The problem is typically Viper, and Viper is always at the back, so that's really dangerous, right? We're going to try and use that right now. Okay, you can see taking out as well. The poison is still like sort of like attacking here. All right, C2 seems to be, you know, impressive so far here. As you can see, we actually, there you go. The C2 actually seems to be actually more impressive this time around. I don't know, for some reason last time I tested it wasn't like, you know, impressive, but I haven't actually reached the point where you now realize, you know, a particular tricky move here. Okay, so far he's doing great here. We have another one here as well. We got, do we have a third Thunder? Okay, we don't, so we're just gonna maybe put someone that's gonna maybe like help us out. All right, so we have, and obviously this might make it a lot easier because of team composition. All right, gonna go right here, try and see if we can boost this up as quickly as possible. All right, now we'll go again. Sea Viper should have been out. Let's try and use that C1 again because it seemed quite impressive the last time we used it. And then we use, you know, there you go. All right, yeah. And then of course, you know, we can see that we're almost there right now. That C1 looks to be like, you know, maybe the one to go for some reason. But the C2 hits hard, but it depends on the category. I actually missed out on Dhalsim's C1 this time around. But you know, once again, we're going forward here. The character has proven to be quite a decent character so far. Okay, all right, so now we're going to go over here. We're going to face Gal right now. All right, and I think the difference here with regards to why I'm progressing a lot quicker now is because all of a sudden, like, the C1 seems to actually be hitting hard. Let's go over the skill again to see what exactly it does. Strike multiple targets one time, dealing soul damage. Oh, you get soul damage, you get 80% attack. But lightning generates toxic cloud that deals soul damage equal to 50% every 15 seconds with a 15% base chance to inflict poison. Okay, toxic cloud lasts 6 seconds. Okay, obviously, The speed is reduced. Okay, that actually helps. Okay, cool. So I can see why that's actually good. But the C2 says strike enemies in a large area 5 times, even so damage equal to 389% attack. Each strike has some send base chance to inflict poison. And you know, we already know what poison does as well. But here's the thing right now, okay? What we are noticing here, we're gonna try and use the C2 first. It's because I believe what is happening here is that our C2 seems to be a little bit underwhelming right now from the start. Do you want to go in a team of Dhalsims? Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Why not? All right. Is we're going to use the C2 again, and I think the reason I'm trying to showcase is that you notice that it doesn't seem impressive. All right, and obviously the kid describes this, but I'll show you where I'm coming from. Right? Okay, so we're kind of lost him right now. We have a buff here. Okay, we're still trying to survive here. And it's over. All right, so he's over here obviously because, you know, they're able to one shot Makoto, who for some reason, I don't know why some people rate Makoto. Man, Makoto in my opinion is, man, all right, typically you need enough time to build her up into the boat. Who has time in PvP? This is like, you know, on PvE even you don't want to even have time. Like, you know, a kid is like just whack. Just step away from that field for a second here. Let's put someone speedy. Let's put, like, you know, like a, you know, Cam, for example. You know, because we don't want to be taken out before we actually have chance to actually attack. You know, so that's not working out too as well. Probably because Cam is, like, you know, out. Well, at least we have a better chance right now. This time we have to use the C2 because we pretty much don't have a choice. But somehow the C2 is giving us some major mad advantage. Look at how it's making Ivory do something wonderful here. You're gonna, oh, didn't have the chance. So actually, this is over. That's saying once Dhalsim is the last one standing, you're screwed because all you're gonna do is just buff. You're actually screwed, man. So, let's put Kami in this time, alright? But you know, like I said, we're trying to imitate. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that we're not starting with Ivory. That's not the worst thing, right? And maybe this might actually give a chance to actually showcase what we're trying to showcase as well. Still a bit enough for speed. Who is making him have, oh, got a yin and yang, I guess. Alright, and this time around they're probably going to take us out before we can't do anything. Yeah, that's typical what happens. Alright, so you can see now we're starting to get to be that difficult here. We're not breezing through anymore. We are now trying to be a bit more strategic. You guys notice outside swapping characters back and forth. If you look at his overall speed, you know, you can see it's 115. That's not the worst. That's not bad at all, right? Compared to, see, like if it has 103. So, yeah, we might say maybe we sort of like, you know, pulling back a bit, but you know, 103 to 115 versus 115 to 133. Oh, you know what? Actually, they're almost like, you know, well, not really. 103 to 115, that's about 12. 115 to 133, that's about 22, I believe. Yeah. Or 18 rather. Yeah. Let's go right ahead and try and see. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's put a proper tank because we pretty much know that. Well, we don't exactly have a choice. We're going to be using the likes of E-Hunter or, you know, Zangief, right? So let's be a little bit fair. Let's see if we have anyone that can actually do a better tanking job. We don't really have much options. Let's try him first, all right? And we're going to go right ahead again, and we have to put, you know. So we're assuming this is Zangief or E-Hunter, right? So we're still going to consider him like a Thunder faction, for example, because he's not going to be doing much, you know, for us with regards to his move set and everything. I'm going to go right ahead and just put, you know, like maybe let's put Dhalsim here again. See what happens this time. All right. And yeah, obviously the speed is more, but we're hoping that he will be able to take more hits, right? As you can see, he's doing a better job and taking more hits. So we start no here. Let's go with this toxic one here. Oh, I made a mistake. Apologies there. Let's go right ahead again. They're very much better in terms of survivability. Something is wrong. Oh, I actually have to select them again. I forgot about that. Alright, so go ahead, put Ivory here, put Dhalsim here, hit the fight button, and let's go. Alright. Ivory is fond of coming out and taking that hit, right? And he's one that actually gets grabbed. Wow. Alright, so go through again. I think we took our time here. use this C2, and then use Dhalsim to come out and finish him off. We're not gonna have that, advantage, with another AOE. So you guys, be mindful of that attack. Let's see if these two can do something together. The 2000, both of them buffing, and look at that. That's the other thing I want to talk about right now. Did you see the difference between once he has that buff and he does his moves there? That is actually the key stuff, and that's actually what I was trying to get to. Is that you realize that the buff is really, really important. After a while, if you want to enjoy the C2, you need to use the buff. You don't want to just go without the buff. And it's showing some durability there. Both of them showing their moves, right? Medicine, and then okay, so we survived there. But this one kind of like fast tracked me to what I was trying to showcase over there. Okay, and I'm gonna go back. Okay, we can't go back because we cleared everything. Let me just pick this stuff up because just get all that out of the way. So here we got Cammy. Obviously we're talking about more significant speed advantage. We're gonna still go right ahead and try and simulate our thunder. This time we've got proper thunder, the personnel in E Hunter, and who do we want to add? Let's just add under Dhalsim again. I just kind of like that double Dhalsim combination there. It's kind of like fun, and I think they also maybe created him for that perspective, because if you notice, their combos are sort of like switch, where Dhalsim buffs with the C2, it's almost like they switch up by one. Where Dhalsim's buffs with the C1 rather, Mommy Dhalsim buffs with the super combo, right? And then where Dhalsim uses the C3 to actually do the flame blast, Mommy Dhalsim uses the C2 to do the flame blast. Almost like I see they're trying to make sure that you can buff Dhalsim, but obviously you cannot do two combos with one person. So that's just the other thing, right? But at least you have the chance to pick. If you buff with the main Dhalsim, you can do something else with a different character. Mommy Dhalsim goes again and unleashes the blast. Regular Dhalsim goes as well and unleashes blast as well. I will showcase that here because I'm actually talking about it right now, and it's all sounding all fun and dandy. Okay, so let's go right here. Okay, and ooh, that was a major hit, but you can take that. So Mommy Dhalsim buffs. He buffs. What we're doing, I think we just kind of like got too excited and didn't do what we wanted to do. All right, I think I was actually taken a surprise by E-Hunters, being taken out. Let's just adjust this real quick here. All right, so we're gonna try without starting with the Mommy Dhalsim buff first. Okay, we're gonna use the AOE. All right. Use this, use Mommy Dhalsim's whatever, use her third, and then use Dhalsim's flame. And man, Dhalsim's flame is really, really nasty, as you can see over there, right? But as you can see here, Dhalsim is the one doing the major work, and I'm not trying to make Dhalsim do the major work. Okay, as much as I'm enjoying his combination there, I want to focus on testing, Mommy Dhalsim. Okay, so we're going to be focusing more on his own moves instead, right? So we're going to go right ahead and just hit the start again. And we're gonna go, poison. We're gonna go E-Hunter. We're gonna go Mommy Dhalsim with. Why am I missing this? I'm getting too, ahead of myself. Obviously, it's easier if it does kind of set up here, right? I'm gonna go right ahead and add the other Dhalsim there, right? That way we're not mixing it up. Go right here. So this is going to be the move here. Use E-Hunter. We're going to use him, and then we're going to use her. All right. I wanted to freestyle, but let's just go right here and just let's boost this up real quick here. All right. So now let's go. So she does her stuff first. She's pretty dangerous, as you guys know. All right. He does his. He does his regular, his whatever. Okay, bad hits. And then she hits like poison. Is someone definitely that you want to. But here's the thing right now: who are you going to be taking out of the Thunder faction lineup for Mommy Dhalsim? Because as you can see here, he's not bad at all with his AOE. Some people might say maybe it could be Mad Ryu, right? Or some people might say maybe one of the tanks. I would not go for one of the tanks. I think it's going to depend on how far your characters are currently. All right, so now this is going to be probably the major test here. But like I said, looking at the team composition, not really something to be worried about. I am tempted to actually use some of these other major characters, so we're going to try and use these guys, with the assumption that you have, Sagat, and this is raw for regular, stuff here. So we're going to go here, Terror, Dhalsim, and then use Sagat. Go again. Let's use a C2 this time around. Taking a long time, right? You can see. So we're going to do something right now. We're going to try and buff with Dhalsim, alright? See if, Zangief survives. Buff with Dhalsim. Attack with Sagat. Blast C2 with Dhalsim. We can see how that C2 really hits once you actually has that buff initially going. They got to heal. Alright, but Sagat is more than enough to protect. So we're going to be fine there. We're going to do buff this time around. Him. Go. And then her. A lot of nasty damage is being done there, okay? Alright, we're already, in trouble with Juri right now. So, gonna go again. Buff. We didn't even have enough time to get him out. So, that didn't really work out for us there, as you can see. And what is going on right now is that using, focusing on other characters but trying to use him as the main damage dealer is not typically, one of the soundest moves, right? I'm going to use this same set of characters again. Actually, I want Sagat to be the tank, right? So let's look for somebody else, alright? Okay, let's go with a team of Dhalsims here, right there. Okay, alright. So, once again, we're going to try two things here. First one is Sagat starting without the buff. Alright, we're going to use Dhalsim's regular buff. Do this. And then let Sagat go to Tiger. Tiger's already gone past his first immunity. He's about to go past second immunity again. And he's gone past that one right now. I think I'm picking the wrong combo. Yeah, I'm picking the wrong combos here. I don't want to make it too difficult in that because obviously with the characters that you actually have lined up, you obviously want to take advantage as best as possible, right? So me not letting Sagat end up and making Juri do the C1, I think that's a bit unfair, so I'm going to go right ahead and try and even that way we can actually let Dhalsim. Well, we don't want Dhalsim's influence to be obvious, so I'm going to let Sagat finish up, because Sagat has to build up his Tiger to make him more, interesting, right? Use Juri this time. Use this. Man, Dhalsim's flames are nasty. Alright. Still here, alright. We use Sagat again. Juri. Mummy Dhalsim. You can see Mummy Dhalsim's flame compared to Dhalsim's flame, not, that great at all, right? But if we do this right now, right, let's use Mummy Dhalsim to start first. Pop Mummy Dhalsim, right? Use Juri. Use Mummy Dhalsim again. Look at the difference in the flame. Do you see how the flame now hits a lot more? That's what the buff does. So, in as much as the buff looks like it's like passive, right? You don't want to waste that. It is still extremely important to use that buff. Right, you can see, like, we see important to use that buff. So that's what I was actually getting with. The key to Mummy Dhalsim is that do not sleep on that super combo move, because obviously it seems like you're doing nothing during that period, but the truth of the matter is that you're actually making the next flame attack extremely more deadly and encouraging. All right. So what's the takeaway here, right? First of all, I was wrong with the C1. If you're not going to use buff, don't use the C2, use the C1 instead. If you're going to use buff, obviously you can't even use the C1, but actually make the C2 more significantly stronger. But the next thing you want to obviously look at here is, let's see, do we have new people to bet on? Oh, one again. Nice. I'd like to win. Who do we want to bet on? Rose, Dhalsim, Fashion Blank. Oh, but yeah, let's see. One unit is very tanky, the other unit is very I'll go with damage over tank. All right, I'm inclined to go with these guys. You can see the betting is a bit split right now. I'm trying to see Rose, Dolls. No, the other. Yeah, I'm gonna go with these guys here. We'll see how it goes in the end, right? Obviously, the battle is way ahead of its time of starting. We still have 5 hours for it to go, so we're definitely not gonna be knowing until maybe next, stuff there. But going back to let's see. We got some mission stuff to collect here, guys. What I've been doing here is, I am not even gonna lie. This is what I've been collecting. Let's see. Go back to the FG here. Do we have my? Oh, I missed the prediction, eh? Sure, it's all good. Let's see, what else do we have to look at right now? I'm just trying to look at something here real quick before I get back to what I'm talking about here, okay? Because whenever the FG stuff starts, then those regular, which there you have, these ones are more or less like check marks. But this one here, this one's more or less about damage dealing, right? This is something like the tougher ones, but you go over here, we continue, no problem at all. Just go hit that, and let's go to what I was about to talk about here. So go to explore, go to spin fist. All right, okay, cool. So here's what I actually wanted to talk about in this final phase here before I actually wrap things up here, is when you're going to go for your Thunder faction here, who are you going to take out? All right, Elena is definitely not replaceable. Zangief and Dhalsim and Zangief and E-Hunter are interchangeable. Blanca for me is one easiest to replace, and also Combat Gal. But then you also have to consider support as well. And so I know one of the tanks can go into support for sure, so that way you can make them really tanky. Maybe Dhalsim or Zangief or E-Hunter. And I think that's where Mommy Dhalsim is going to come here. Okay, so that's where we're going to just wrap it up here. In my opinion, I think I'm going to replace Blanca, because I think Blanca has my fourth lineup here. So he's Mad Ryu, Elena, E-Hunter, Blanca, Zangief does support in the in the tank, and that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, if I'm going to change it, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to be doing some on frags soon enough in terms of like revealing fragments. I just got to cut out for a second there, and that's why I was trying to rush it up here, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much it with the Dhalsim test right now. And like I said again before, with the Thunder faction lineup, I'm looking to hopefully replace, E-Hunter, because Blanca, because it was typically Blanca or Combat Gal that I had to use in the Thunder faction there if I want to actually go up the ladder, and I'm sort of struggling with those two. So he's gonna come in one of those guys here. So the lineup is gonna look like this, okay? Let's go over here. Try and simulate and line up real quick here. All right, and let's just go start something. Do we have? Okay, we already have Thunder here, so we're gonna modify. So what's gonna happen now is this. As you can see here, I have this is more. It's not obviously for Thunder alone. This is more, for example, when I'm doing the which I haven't actually completed. Right, I've sort of taken my time on that as well. The part of trials, right? I actually have to try and do that soon enough. But if you have to do those ones that for example, you have to use only Thunder factions alone, then that's where I'm probably going to use that. So I have that as my base. But then of course, if I want to eventually just go and just do like a regular Thunder faction only situation, I just have to just swap out the supports, and then we have the Thunder here. So what is going to happen is it's going to be like this. This is going to be a lineup here, except Zangief is going to be here supporting from the front here, because I like E-Hunter's chance of an interrupt. So E-Hunter is one that's going to take the sun line up here. If it's going to be as major damage dealer, okay, and then we're going to be having Mommy Dhalsim. We're going to use him to actually just replicate Mommy Dhalsim's position on there, and of course Elena's going to prefer the heal, and then we can now have maybe Blanca for the C2, for example. I'm going to figure out who actually has a better support in the C2 lineup. No, what am I actually saying? We need to create a space for Poison, because Poison is actually important as well. So Poison might interchange with Mad Ryu. We'll see how it is, or E-Hunter, or even with Mommy Dhalsim. I think the only person that you don't want to displace is going to be Elena, because that heal is really important, in my opinion. And otherwise, that's pretty much it with me here. I appreciate your time on the video as well. Now I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys.